World-made men. History shapes a persona about which stories are told. Napoleon. Napoleonic ambitions. This phrase is probably familiar to many of you. Well, it is justified. Because how else would you explain the astonishing career growth of an obscure courtesan young man during the French Revolution? Starting as a lieutenant, Napoleon Bonaparte rose to the rank of general, then became the first consul of the Republic, and finally, on December 2nd, 1804, he proclaimed himself Emperor Napoleon I. Yes, this is the same person who started as a soldier of the Revolution, the one whom his soldiers affectionately called Little Corporal, although by this time he was already the commander of the army and the same general, the one whom Europe idolized, considering him a liberator from tyrannical regimes. Thereafter, he rebuilt Europe, and like a true Corsican, set his many relatives and loyal friends on European thrones. But it seems that by this time, Napoleon's ambition had gone wild, and he went on a crusade against Russia, and this is where his military genius failed. Not only did the Russians impose a guerrilla war on him, instead of classic battles, they also burned their own historical capital, Moscow, so that he couldn't capture the city intact after a victorious battle. Napoleon probably felt like he was losing his mind. Seems like he did not know the famous phrase, "Russia is baffling to the mind." In short, the emperor got pretty cold, threw the idea of conquering Russia out of his head and returned to Paris. By this time, European countries had finally realized that none of them could defeat the Little Corporal single-handedly, and joining in an anti-French coalition, marched victoriously to Paris. So on April 6, 1884, Napoleon had to abdicate and was sent to exile on the island of Elba. Of course, he wasn't the sort of chap to sit tight on an island, so he escaped. Just like that, with the help of his loyal soldiers who helped him regain the throne, Napoleon triumphantly entered Paris and launched a Corsican vendetta against his European offenders. However, this euphoria lasted only 100 days and ended in 1815, with an ultimate defeat at Waterloo. Napoleon was sent to exile for the second time, and further away, to the island of St. Helena, where he died. Paradoxically, not only France, but the whole Europe, the very one with which he did as he pleased, considers Napoleon an outstanding personality. After all, it was the revolutionary emperor who embodied the ideas that underlie our modern world, including meritocracy, authority of the wealthy, equality before the law, property right, religious tolerance, and much more. During this time, the Bank of France was created. The education system was modernized. Institutions such as lyceums were founded, with the École Polytechnique and the École Normale Supérieure. Until now in France, those are considered the most prestigious ones. By the way, Napoleon believed that the last word always remains with the public opinion. Apparently, he had no doubt that through the centuries, it would always be on his side. Do not try this at home. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more videos in the World Made Men series. Thank you for watching.